Welcome to Frequently Asked Questions on the Roman Roads Press Curriculum. I'm here with my wife Lydia, who is also the head of customer service. You get this question a lot from schools. Go ahead and...
Right. This is a different angle than a lot of the questions we get. Homeschool parents and hybrid schools and co-ops have a similar approach to this material. But we also talk to classical schools, and they're working on a 5-day model. It looks different for them and often have devoted class times where the humanities are not integrated like this course is. Sometimes it's a little bit of a difficult discussion how to change things up when you're going into a new academic year. We'd encourage looking into what it would take to pursue integrated humanities approach to this material. However, what if you can't? What if this year you go in with a literature teacher and a history teacher? How can you use Old Western culture? And for that, I usually recommend that you take a unit by unit approach to the material. So if your literature teacher is going to cover the epics, for example, the first unit, that's Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, that is great for a literature course. Obviously, they're historical works, but the emphasis is not on history. So I really encourage literature teachers to look at those titles. Rise of England covers Shakespeare. Mm-hmm. Another great option for a literature teacher. We have Dante in the Medieval Mind. Again, same sort of approach. And your literature teacher could take one unit from each year and do an overview of great literature of the Western world. Whereas your history teacher then can turn around and use our units like the Greeks' histories, the Romans' historians, and probably the Enlightenment in year 4.
Poetry and politics as well.
Another one. 4. So there's some flexibility there. Again, it's still going to integrate many disciplines, but if you have a teacher devoted to specific subjects and you're not ready to fully integrate yet, definitely consider using a unit by unit approach.
In other words, what you're saying is you want to disintegrate our integrated humanities, which should also bring the question of why are they disintegrated? And it is an important question that I would encourage schools to have of if they don't have integrated humanities. It is the ideal thing is if you have 2 back-to-back sections, one is history and then literature. Make that a 2-hour or back-to-back double period and make that an integrated humanities. That's what I did in the classical school in France. There was a double integrated humanities period. So
writing also is definitely a strong element of both history and literature. So you end up with this full orbed course that is going to cover, yes, you'll have 2 class periods, but you're going to hit 3 very important disciplines all in one group.
Right. And the subjects that are integrated, history and literature are the most common primary subjects that are integrated. But there's, people ask, is this a theology class? Is this a philosophy class? And is this an art history class? Is this apologetics? The answer is yes. So it's not, they are truly integrated. In other words, there are units that cover more of an emphasis, like you said, but the entire course as a whole is a great books literature approach to integrated humanities. It's the way that education, if the Harvard education of the past, most of what historically classical education was and what it looked like was this great books approach that was integrated. It's fairly recent that we have disintegrated our humanities in our schools.
And the integration lends itself towards Socratic dialogue, which really helps students master and wrestle with difficult topics because they're talking with an adult who has a fuller understanding, but also they're watching their teachers or parents tackle difficult subjects as well and model self-instructing when it comes to difficult subjects.
And realizing the connections historically between, the maths and the sciences and literature and history, all of those together allow students to have more of a holistic understanding of not just of history, but of just the Old Western culture.
Which in the timeline of history was never in a vacuum. These events and developments were all growing concurrently with each other.
Correct. So, thanks.